I am type 2 diabetic. I have Hashimoto's thyroid. Yeah. Also the hypothyroid. I also, for the past probably 20 years, I've had PCOS. And let's see, anything else? I think that's the biggest ones. Yeah. So I've been trying to get pregnant, and that's kind of how this whole journey started. And then so she recommended some dietary changes for me. And when I started doing research on it, I found out it kind of falls in line with keto. And so I figured if I'm going to do that, I might as well go all the way. So for about a year, I've been kind of on and off because I had a really hard time with energy and stuff, and we're tweaking my supplements, and she has me on some like a thyroid prescription to kind of help with that. And so the past 2 months, I was really good. I was really fairly strict keto, and then to the best of my knowledge anyway. And then I noticed on one of your videos and another woman's videos, they told me to cut out dairy. And when I did that, my blood sugar numbers really dropped, and I saw a big difference. And I saw like my face inflammation, everything dropped. So that was cool. And then about 2 weeks ago, I got back from vacation. Everything kind of fell apart. I fell off the diet, so now I'm trying to get back on. I know I probably have leaky gut issues because that stems with the whole wheat autoimmune thing. But I've been still just trying to really dial down what I need to do for myself and do keto without damaging myself more, and just trying to learn as much as I can.
Okay, so you said that you were doing strict keto for 2 months. Is it the going away for 2 weeks or the vacation? Or was that got you off of keto, or was it something else?
It was actually coming back from vacations what did it. I was just exhausted and crashed and trying to catch up with everything at home. And actually I did better this time because last year when I did vacation, I came home, I crashed and fell off of it, but I was off for like 2 months before I got my routine going again. So I'm like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm doing better. Small victories.
So are you back on now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you said for how long now again?
It's just been probably like 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah, back into routine and dialing in my diet more, and to the best of my knowledge anyway.
Your knowledge. Okay, so I'm going to ask some more questions just to get more information. So what's your age?
I just turned 36.
And you're trying to get pregnant now. Have you tried yet?
Yeah, well, we've been trying for years, but I just now found an ovulation tester that will work with the PCOS. I didn't know about that before. So now we're starting to track it more, and she has me on some more supplements to help balance out my hormones to get pregnant and things like that. So
yeah, so that's okay. And then what's your height?
I'm 5'4".
Or what's your current weight?
207.
So have you been using a blood sugar monitor to test your blood sugar? Because PCOS girls tend to have high blood sugar.
I have, yeah. So the past week and a half, not so much. I just check it in the morning. When I get into the good routine, I like the past 2 months when I was doing really good, I was checking it like every meal, really trying to and follow it really closely. And I have a keto test strip too, but I haven't done it lately because my blood sugar has been higher. And so once it gets back down to around 100, then I'll start checking the keto in the morning.
So let's go over the high and lower numbers of your blood sugar. So tell me some of the highs and lows.
So do you want it for where I'm at now or for when I was really good?
Let's start from now and count backwards to when you were good.
Okay. So my morning after I slept when I first woke up, this morning was 121. Yesterday it was 114. The day before it was 112. And then the next couple days were pretty high. It was 146, 133, 136, 142, 138, 125, and then it starts getting better. It's like 102, 114, 115, 109, 101, 109, 105, like 108, 100, 99, 95, 94, 92. That's pretty much the lowest it ever got for me.
Is good.
See, let me keep going.
If that's the lowest, then no, let's stop there.
Okay.
These are all fasted numbers. These aren't numbers throughout the day.
That's are fasted. So I just gave you all the morning fasting.
Do you have any recollection of any other time, or did you ever test in the afternoon or evening just to?
I did, yeah. So lately, no. Let's see. Like this morning so it was 121 this morning when I woke up. After breakfast, it was 138. And then before lunch, it was 114. That's all for today so far.
Okay. And do you have a recollection of ketone numbers in the past, just to know if you've produced them or not?
Let's see. I do. So there was one morning I woke up and it was 94, and I tested my ketones and it was 0.8.
Okay.
Any other times? Not really, because when I think I was on vacation. I didn't take my ketone tester.
Well, yeah, probably no point to it that time.
That's about it.
So, have you ever seen ketones over 1 in memory?
No. I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Not yet.
So, when you're not doing keto, what are some of your main meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks? What were you eating?
It tended to be when I'm not keto and I'm just like screw it all. We eat out quite a bit, but we go to like Chinese places, ramen, and then I'll still do like chicken and salads, breakfast and eggs and bacon for breakfast kind of thing. When I cook, usually when I cook, I always try and do it healthy, but it's when I'm lazy and we go out to eat. But since I get it, yeah.
Yeah. What about snacks? Do you have any of are you a sweet person? Are you salty? Do you ever have chips? Do you ever have chocolate?
Snacks are really hard because I'm trying so hard to get away from snacking. When I do snack, it's usually some kind of sprouted nuts. I'm trying to think, My weak spot is ice cream. So I try and find like a sugar-free ice cream. But again, I'm trying to get away from dairy. So
I know, right?
right, I'm like, how can I have? And then all the coconut milk ice cream, they all have sugar in them. There's no like no keto one yet. I'm like, yeah.
Totally,
But,
totally.
yeah. Usually, if I snack too, I'll try and just do like some celery with tuna salad or almond butter. And I try I try not to make the like the carb replacement, so like the full bread and all that kind of stuff, because I found it's more of a trigger and I just want to eat that all the time. So I've been trying to cut those out as well. Yeah.
Gotcha. So like when you snacked, you never snacked on the worst thing you snacked on was ice cream?
Probably the very worst thing is probably chips.
Chips, yeah.
Like corn chips.
Yeah. Do you have them in your place now?
I do, because my husband and my son eat them, but I haven't for a couple days.
Good, at least a couple days. Okay, is this your son's son or is this a stepson?
He's my adopted son.
Adopted. Okay, so I just want to be sure about the pregnancy part. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I want to ask you a few more questions about like your daily routine. Like, what's a normal day look like for you? Like in terms of like what time? Let's say now when you're trying to jump back on keto again. Like, what time do you wake up? When are you having breakfast? What are you having for breakfast? What are you having for lunch? Do you go to a job? Are you at home? Do you exercise? What time do you eat dinner? And what time do you go to bed? Like stuff like that.
Okay. So I'll tell you my ideal day where my routine was when I was doing really good that I'm working towards getting back. So usually I try to wake up by 7. I'm trying to get earlier, but it's usually by 7. And then get up, get ready, take my son to his daycare, and then I'll usually come back home and eat.
So what time?
I'm usually back home by 8, so it takes from the time I wake up till the time I get back home.
8:30ish. Okay.
And there's a thing to that. Like if I get up earlier, I'll have breakfast before we go, and then if possible, I'll go to the gym for like an hour. Usually, I'm trying for 3 times a week, but it's usually at least once a week. Anyway, so usually if I don't go to the gym, I'm home by 8:30. If I do go to the gym, I'm home by 9:30. And then I'm stay at home most of the time and help my husband with his business paperwork stuff. And when I was on point, then I would eat lunch around noon and then go for a half-hour walk around the block.
What would you have for lunch?
Lunch is usually like a big salad with some like grilled chicken or baked chicken with avocado, and the only dressings I use anymore is just olive oil. I just pour olive oil on it. Sometimes toasted sesame oil, just a little bit for flavor.
Okay. And then would that be like a dinner as well, or would you do not a salad? Would you do cooked veggies or?
Yeah, usually for dinner I have cooked veggies, and I don't know. I try and rotate everything, so it's yeah, it just depends. Usually we do steak, sometimes we do pork, sometimes we do chicken. And then for the vegetables, I try and kind of focus on the cruciferous. But my doctor, with the Hashimoto, she told me I shouldn't be eating more than 1 cup of cruciferous per meal cooked.
If you use a pressure cooker, you can have up to 2.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then so I'll do some of that, maybe a little bit of zucchini, or usually I just take like spring mix salad and saute it.
Good.
Like 2-3 cups of that.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm.
What time would dinner be?
Usually between 6 and 7.
And then do you have a snack in the mid-afternoon or no?
I try really hard not to. If I do, usually I'll just munch on some celery or cucumber or something like
that. Okay. And then what happens after dinner? Literally, what do you do after? Dishes, watch TV, internet?
We usually just sit down and chill, usually watching TV, relaxing. I might clean the kitchen real quick, just getting my son ready for bed.
Then, so what time do you go to bed?
I try and get...
Realistically.
That's something. My goal is 9, but it seemed to never happen. I'm usually in bed by 10, and then I'll lay there until 11 or midnight before I fall asleep.
You can't sleep.
Yeah. I take melatonin. She gave me like a pure, but it gives me nightmares. So I don't
off of it, because like your body can't produce its own melatonin, and you can get yourself to sleep naturally. So you want to be dependent on something that doesn't work very well over time.
Right, exactly.
You know what type of thyroid meds you're on? Is it like thyroxine or Synthroid or Armour or?
It's called leothyronine. It's like a bioidentical one
made from.
I don't know. It's called.
A lot of people get their thyroids from pig thyroid, like the actual thyroid.
Oh, I'm not sure. It's through like a weird pharmacy. It's just called leothyronine.
So definitely you should really start researching anything that you take at this juncture in your life, because it's really important to know. Because if it's a pharmaceutical, when you're like, it's a more natural form of it, is it herbs? Is it synthetics? Is it, like pig thyroid? So it's good to know.
Okay.
And you've been having PCOS, you said, for 20 years?
Probably, yeah.
So that means that your blood sugar has been running high for 20 years?
To a degree. I knew. Okay, so I was pre-diabetic for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, were you eating any of the carby foods that catered to all this?
I was. Yeah. So I didn't I had no idea about the what's it called? Like the whole leaky gut thing and the wheat, like all this damage wheat causes to us nowadays. And so like the past probably 4 or 5 years, I started doing research on, just because I was so tired all the time. So I started doing research and learning about like soaking your grains and soaking your nuts and bone broth and all that stuff. So I've slowly got little bits here and there. But I was doing, probably 4 years ago, I was doing the fast metabolism diet by Dr. Haley Pomeroy. And that, I really think that's what threw me over the edge, because you're eating constantly and there's a lot of carbs and there's a lot of fruit, and I really think that's what just totally tipped me over. And I'm like, no.
These people that come up with these weird diets, I'll never understand. But
yeah, so
you're desperate and somebody's promising you, the pot of gold, you try it. So
right, yeah.
Okay. How long ago were you diagnosed with thyroid disorder?
1 year ago.
Or just 1 year? You went to have it tested specifically, or they just noticed that you did general test and you found out?
It was kind of like a general test. Like in the past, when I was a teenager, my thyroid was low, and so I just mentioned that history, and that just because like I was exhausted all the time and had a lot of weight gain, and there's a lot of kind of symptoms that went with thyroid. And my mom's had thyroid issues my whole life, so we should test this while we're doing it.
Totally. Okay. When you went on the medication, did you feel better right away, or did you just?
To a degree, yeah, I felt better. Yeah, and then it's kind of weird because I started a whole bunch of stuff at once, and but now that I've been on it for almost a year, like I realize like if I miss it, I kind of crash, and so it helps, and it's a fairly low dose. We don't have me on something crazy. My goal is to hopefully eventually get my body back to where I don't need that. Right? It's like I want to heal.
Exactly. Okay, so in your workouts, have you been tired then? Like, why would you go? Because you're working at home, so that means you could work out more.
Right.
So why would it be only 1 to 2 days per week? What's going on with that? Is it energy issues?
Yeah, typically it's energy. That's the hard thing. I'm still battling that, especially. It's like when I'm on keto for quite a while, it's way better. But when I do the on and off, it's like I'm always kind of in that slump. I'm not using anything for fuel. You know?
Yeah. So, use nothing.
Right. So, like right now, this past week, I'm just kind of crashed and drained.
Yeah.
But my goal is to get back, and actually, my goal is to start exercising every single day. Like right before I went on vacation, I was going to the gym 3 times a day, and then if I didn't go to the gym, I was just walking around the block. So I'm trying to get some exercise in every single day.
Good. If you were exercising, was it from home or from a gym? If you went to exercise, were you doing it at home or at a gym?
At a gym.
Is it close by?
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes away.
Okay, good. And when you do go once or twice per week, how long is the duration of you being there?
Usually when I go, it's for an hour. And I'd signed up for a trainer. I did just like a couple of training sessions to get used to it when I first started the gym. So a lot of it was that using the TRX, the body weights, the medicine ball, just a lot of squats and things like that. Some machines, but not a lot.
Not a lot. Okay. All right. So, do you, because of the Hashis and the hypothyroidism, are you constipated or do you produce stool every day?
I'm usually regular.
That's good.
Right.
What about cold hands and cold feet? Are you having those symptoms with the thyroid problem?
Right now, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now you talked about leaky gut a little bit. Do you feel like you're ever bloated on certain foods, gassy, anything that show like hard to digest?
Yeah, so when I up my greens or when I try and eat higher amounts of vegetables, I definitely feel like bloated.
Yeah.
And I like not to be TMI, but like when it comes out, it's kind of like chopped salad. It's not really digested and formed.
Yeah, leaky gut. Totally.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So then I'm like wondering if you develop histamine intolerance to any foods. Like do you react off of dairy or eggs or avocados or anything, like not the cruciferous problems, the thyroid, but
right. Like I'm trying to dial in that stuff. Like there's certain foods I know I can't, but it's more like oranges and tomatoes, kiwi, that kind of stuff. Even bananas and strawberries now, which I don't eat them often anymore, but they just make my mouth break out and super sore.
Wow.
And if I drink any kind of alcohol, I just turn red. And I noticed more. The longer I'm on keto, it seems like the more I notice sensitivities to foods more. and I'll just turn like all red. I don't know if you can see, I just turn all red on my neck. It just gets all red.
Is that rosacea? Have you been tested for that?
It's not rosacea, it's just a inflammatory, and it goes up and then it goes back down.
And how long after? And it's just those, like, a lot of fructose. You could have a fructose sensitivity, ethanol.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But as far as like the specific vegetables, or if I haven't dialed that in yet. I know there are certain things I'm eating that are affecting me, but I haven't figured out what they are yet.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, do you wake up in the middle of the night?
Not too often. No, if I do, sometimes I'll wake up to go pee.
Did you last night?
No, I slept all night.
Do you dream often?
Yeah. I haven't taken the melatonin for like a week, and so the longer I'm off of that, the less I dream. If I take those melatonin supplements, one day I'll be having like intense, crazy dreams for like a week straight.
Yeah, that's not good because your blood sugar shooting up, stress in the dream.
Okay, yeah, because it's always crazy, like weird nightmares and running. Lots of running.
Like trapped anxiety.
Okay.
Menstrual cycle. Do you have cysts?
I do. Yeah. So about a year ago, early this year, February, I had a surgery to remove some uterine cysts and fibroids, and my periods are still like way out of whack. Actually, this week I ended up in the ER because the cramps were so bad. And yeah, so.
Do you use tampons?
No.
Good.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
So the cramps are bad. Okay. Do you bleed a lot?
Huh?
You bleed a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm telling myself it was my punishment for going off the diet, because last month when I was on point, like I had no pain and it was normal bleeding.
Yeah.
And then I went off the diet and I'm just like, all hell breaks loose. And I'm like, I'm just being punished.
Your body does not like the carbs.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Okay. I think I got all the data. So, are you drinking coffee?
No, I cut out the caffeine. So yeah.
When?
It was before my vacation. It's probably a month.
A month. Were you a 1, 2, or 3 cupper?
Oh, probably 1, but it wasn't. Coffee makes my joints, everything hurt.
Oh wow.
But I would drink either green tea or the sugar-free Monsters.
Ooh, child.
I know.
The ones with aspartame, or is it sucralose? What's the sugar they use? Huh?
Erythritol, and
it's a sugar alcohol. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna get you off of that. How much caffeine is in a Monster?
I have no idea.
Let's check.
Do they say?
Yeah, they totally do.
Oh, there's sucralose. Oh, no, I don't see. Oh no, there it is. 70 milligrams.
70?
Yeah.
For the whole can?
For the ones, yeah.
Well, that's worse.
The serving 1 can, yeah.
Okay. All right, so clearly the weight gain is a cocktail between thyroid, PCOS, and the insulin resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Smacked with a couple of things. And I do think it was the start of your gut problems, which probably started at birth because of your mom.
Right.
And like, for example, my gut flora has been weird growing up, but my mom didn't breastfeed.
Mm.
And when you don't breastfeed within the first 10 days, your gut, like a baby is born with no gut flora.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to get it from the vaginal canal and from the breast milk. Not in my case.
Right.
So then I've had to deal with like gut issues and stuff like that. When I was younger, I used to always get colds and flus, and I started getting candida pretty bad.
Mm.
So, okay. Um, the things that we need to do is redesign your keto, but I can give you tips on what we need to do is just redesign your whole life to, as your keto adapting, to deal with the PCOS and the thyroid issues. I would love for you to get off the thyroid medication, but we have to, first of all, you don't need to be on the melatonin. That's ridiculous. Get off of it, but taper it slowly. Don't do it in 24 hours. Well, you have. You haven't taken it in a couple.
It's done.
Let's get it. Yeah, no. So just those simple things of replanning your whole day with more clear macros, nutrient breakdown, and how to deal with your tiredness, how to deal with the night because your cortisol is inverted. That means that your cortisol is too high at night, and that's the wake up hormone. So you're awake at night,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're tired in the morning, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, you're wired then tired, and so there are ways that really are helpful to battle that. So let's go into the strategies. You try to go to bed by 9, but you end up kind of going to bed by 10. Let's try to make it at least by 9:30.
Okay.
And what you want to do is, what I try to do is in the day is to prep things so I have to do less at night. What you want to do is like, are you having dinner at like 7 because of your husband, or why so late?
Yeah, I like to eat at 6, but he likes to eat around 7. So actually, sometimes I'll eat dinner at 6 and just he can eat it cold.
That's what we're gonna have to do just for the next month, because we're gonna try to redial your whole body, and it's not forever; it's just for right now. So
Right.
I would eat your dinner earlier, and then as soon as he's done, like try to clean up as soon as possible to give yourself time to relax. And I don't want you to relax watching TV until you go to bed.
Okay.
Eyes, like us in the wild, we would never look at an object 10 feet away and just look at it for hours. Our eyes would always be tracking at distances. So when you're looking close up, I even explain this to people who read books, they freak out. I'm like, reading books spikes your cortisol. They're like, but it makes me sleep. And I'm like, yeah, it makes your brain tired, but then the cortisol starts spiking after you're asleep. And then those people wake up several times who read the books from bed. So the best way to calm your hormones down, because it's your hormones that are, pumping out to sleep, to wake, to be hungry, to feel tired, to feel happy. It's all hormones. And so we have to change routines to kind of reset the hormones. And so, like, let's say if you go to bed by like 9:30 or 9:45 max, then you want to have dishes done like, 7:30 if you can, just if you can. And I think you should take a shower before dinner. So it's done. And then when you're just putting the little one to bed, then it's just that these are the small things that you have to do. You don't have to go and do major things like clean the whole home and, take showers and stuff like that. Because what I want you to do is start to relax. First, when you're watching TV or when you're talking to your husband, just relax, chill. And when the sun goes down, you're going to start visualizing, what I really need to just chill. I need to get that chill zone. Because if you don't consciously think about it, sometimes we zing ourselves up without even realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So like now, the sun's going down. I only have one client a week right now where it's this time. But normally when I have morning clients and then I'm home by now and I don't have a client, then I'm already like, okay, Steph, you've been catabolic, which means to break down all day. And so now we need to start to hibernate and get into that mood so you can build up and repair and restore. So I would watch TV now. I would watch TV until about 9-ish, around 9, or whatever you want to do. And then after that, all television, computers on your eyes must stop. You must get away from it.
Okay.
I also think you should get some blue light blocking glasses. Now you can get clear ones on Amazon if you don't want the orange ones or the red ones or the yellow ones, which feel really weird on the eyes to watch TV with those glasses on. But I found a pair of clear ones and they really work.
Okay.
Everyone who's ever used blue blockers sleeps much better.
Okay.
Because that light is telling your brain that it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it's nighttime. And we just gotta, the body just doesn't know we're living in the modern time. It has no clue.
Right.
Every time it reacts to the modern world, it thinks, like when you drink caffeine or when you're like anxious or stressed at night, it thinks you're running from danger. And it's just the way it is. And we have that false light on you. Your brain thinks it's daytime. So let's crank back up the cortisol and wake you up.
Right.
And so we've just got to kind of, it's so weird that we have to trick our own subconscious mind. It's bizarre.
Right. Yeah.
So, okay. Are you taking magnesium?
I am, but it's like small amounts in different supplements.
Okay, what supplements are you taking besides?
Oh goodness, a lot. I'm taking a lot. There's one that has like a calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, small amount, and then there's at night, sometimes if I remember, there's a calcium magnesium powder which has me put in water to drink before bed to kind of help calm things down.
Sometimes you should do that every night. That calms.
I'm supposed to every night. I just don't remember.
Okay, well, grown woman.
I know. No. And then when I get headaches, I'll take I have like an electrolyte powder. I'll throw in my water.
Okay. Are you not drinking enough water in the day?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's why. Okay. So that's another thing you got to do.
Okay.
You got to count out 8 glasses of water and just all throughout the day.
About how much magnesium should I be taking a day?
Like, go as high as you can, but some people just do 300 milligrams at night, and some people do 300 milligrams at night and the morning. So it's up to you.
All right. Yeah, I'll figure that out.
Yeah, if you've got that calm powdered magnesium, take it at least an hour to an hour and a half before bed.
Okay.
It really works. We need to relax you much more than you are so far.
Okay.
What other supplements are you on?
I'm on a lot. So I'm on one is Chase Tree Berry.
For what?
That's to help with like the menstrual hormones. And then
I don't think you need that, but go ahead.
All right, so one is called Syndrome X. So it's basically kind of like a cinnamon pill to help with my blood sugar.
Don't need it.
Another one's multivitamin.
Don't need it.
Then there's a probiotic. It's called Megaspore.
Do you know how many billions of cultures are in it?
Not off the top of my head.
Probiotics should be taking intermittently, like do a bottle, then take a couple week break, and then do another bottle. Just don't do it all the time. You can overwhelm your gut with too much bacteria that might make other bad bacteria grow.
Okay.
What else are you taking?
Vitamin D.
Toxic. Yeah, very toxic to the liver. How many IUs?
10,000.
Why don't you just take fish oil? It has 950 and it's much safer.
Okay. That's one of the things I do too, is I take the cod liver oil. I wanted to ask you about the cod liver oil. Should I count that towards my fat grams per day?
Nah.
Okay.
No.
And then I take MK7. It's the natto. It's basically a natto pill to help with your vitamin K7.
Why do you need vitamin K7 for?
Because I'm not doing it's one of the from the research I learned, like you need vitamin A and D and K to work together, like synergistically.
They're all so they're like in butter and pork and.
So that okay, I didn't know about pork. I knew about butter, but since I cut butter out when she took me off dairy.
Lard. Okay. Lard is people really adapt well on lard with gut issues.
Okay. What else? An antioxidant.
You don't really need it.
Myomin, I forget what that one's for. I think that one was for one of the hormones too. I forget what that was.
I don't that either. I think it's all bullshit. But go ahead. Yeah.
Bitter melon extract.
For what?
That one helps to lower the blood sugar too.
No, it doesn't. Get rid of it.
Okay. And then
clearly see it's not working. Okay, what else?
CoQ10.
That's a maybe. What else?
That's pretty much it.
So the reason why I say get rid of it is because your body is its own natural pharmacy, and that's not a joke. When you're using man-made pharmaceuticals, which have been made in a laboratory to give you whatever it needs, the micronutrients, antioxidants, whatever, it's still man-manipulated. They are concentrated in high doses from food.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the body knows? The lower doses from food.
Mm-hmm.
It does best with that. It knows how to extract what it needs, partition it, and use it safely. Real food, it can take everything out of the food and put it in perfectly. If you have any sensitivities to, let's say, any of those vitamins in a multivitamin, let's say vitamin E, let's say your body's like, whoa, I'm not feeling this amount of vitamin E. Well, they do a multivitamin general for every person, and some people can handle one and they can handle another, and I'm like, don't do multivitamin.
Okay.
That's what I would do if it were me, because I'm not supposed to tell you what to do with supplements.
Right, I understand.
Yeah. So you can overload the liver. The liver's like all this crap nonstop, like whatever. That's why I'm like, okay, vitamin D, super toxic for the liver. Why can't you just get that from the cod? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Get your ass outside.
Right. Yeah.
Or you can buy these lamps. They're the size of your body almost, or they're like 5 feet tall. And there's like 6 of them, and they have the different UVA and UVB that have they produce vitamin D3. And it's one of the best ways to get it beyond a pill. You just stand in front of it 20 minutes, you turn 10 and 10, and people who've got really low vitamin D who are malabsorptive, because sometimes when you take those supplements, because a lot of that stuff's ending up in your poop and in your urine because you have chunks of poop.
Yeah.
When you absorb it through the skin, it's going right in.
Right. Yeah, that's part of why I was trying to walk around the block a couple times a week, because at least I get out in the sun during the day.
Exactly. But the lamps, if you, I don't, what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Hawaii.
Oh, honey.
I know.
Shit. Don't need no lamps. No. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, super important, because everything you put in your mouth can either be good for you or bad for you. It's better to deconstruct and reconstruct, because you're also on thyroid medication.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have they given you any medication? Or are they giving you all the herbs for the high blood sugar?
Mm-hmm.
You just the herbs. You have high blood sugar because you're not doing everything correct. You fall off your diet and eat shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to bed, you can't sleep, and you're not really actively doing stuff. You just quit coffee not that long ago.
Right.
Imagine if 2 years go by of you doing everything you can to be healthy. Do you think your blood sugar is going to be high?
Shouldn't be.
No. Yeah. It won't be high. It may be in a ketogenic range, and it may not, but it's not going to be high. And so things that you are doing are creating high blood sugar because you have the genetic disorder. Mm-hmm. We don't know if it's environmental or what came first. Was it the gut problems? or was there a genetic proponent? Doesn't matter.
Right.
Nobody in my family's got cancer or diabetes. My mom had fibroids. Her 4 sister had fibroids. My grandmother had fibroids. They all had their uteruses removed. And I would probably develop big fibroids as well if I ate like them.
Right.
So there's a genetic link, but I decided to turn off that switch. So yes, even though you've got PCOS and Hashis now and high blood sugar and leaky gut, it doesn't matter, because if you did everything right, you would probably fix to the 90 percentile all your issues just by being consistent.
Right.
You go adapted or not.
That's my hope. That's my goal. That's my belief. If I can do what I got to do.
The reason why your polycystic ovarian syndrome was exacerbated is because you're not doing everything you can. That's why you're forming the cyst, because sometimes you're eating crappy carbs. You're always staying up too late. You're using melatonin now to get you to sleep. Now your body's not producing this great, amazing natural hormone that works synergistically with all the other hormones produced to get you into deep sleep. Now your body's reliant on that crap.
Right.
And it won't work well as time goes on. So if you did everything right, you're going to see the benefits. If you work at 98%, you're going to get 98% results, period.
Right.
And the reason why people don't get 98% results in the health issues that they have is because they don't work hard enough. So let me tell you this story real quick. So I've had really bad periods. I don't develop fibroids, but I produce a hormone called prostaglandin, and it's the cramping hormone. So I have really bad cramps every period. All right. I've done everything I can on my own to get the pain down. And I went from 7 days of excruciating pain down to a day and a half. I still have excruciating pain, but it's now a day and a half. I've done really well. So it's tolerable now. And I used to bleed a lot, and now it's normal, the bleeding, but the pain is still there. But what I did, one stupid thing that I did at one point was I would take NSAIDs, and that's like an aspirin. And that's a blood thinner, and it would make clots and the cramp a little bit less. And then I could do whatever. So I started traveling a lot again, and I was paranoid on a trip to, so from taking a lot of aspirin when I was younger, I developed an ulcer. But then it healed. There's been like 20 years no ulcer. And then I started traveling, and I was like, oh shit, I'm going to be on the plane with these cramps. My stomach feels fine. What if I take a little bit of aspirin?
Right.
You know what I did? I cut my stomach open again.
Oh,
just
no.
20 years of a great stomach. Peptic ulcer, boom.
Oh, no.
And I was taking all these herbs to heal my stomach naturally, like slippery elm, licorice DGL. And I was taking also licorice herb and just drinking it as a tea. But what I didn't know, because I'm a stupid fucking idiot, is that natural licorice scratches your kidneys.
Oh, no.
So you got these little tubes. They're called tubules in your kidneys. So I scratch my kidneys. Now everything that lotion, shampoo, everything, honey, that you put on your skin ends up in the kidneys. And you won't feel it if there's not a scratch there. And everything you eat. So we're talking anything that's in concentration. And I mean anything. Anything.
Okay.
So now my stomach's fucked and my kidneys fucked. Right?
Right.
So what I can take to heal the kidneys hurts the stomach. And what I take for the stomach hurts the kidneys. So I can take nothing to heal. Now I could take an antibiotic and heal both of them at the same time, but I refuse.
Right, yeah.
I will not destroy this gut flora I've worked too hard on to fix. But you would be amazed on how the discipline that I have to fix both without taking a fucking thing.
Right.
And it works. And it will only work if I put 100% effort into minding everything I put on my skin. When I travel, I cannot use anybody else's lotion or shampoo or soap because it absorbs right through the skin and hurts the kidneys, and it'll re-injure the kidneys. Everything.
Well, yeah.
I use nail polish remover, right? Where is it there?
Right. Yeah.
The skin, you know where it goes?
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've gotten it like sort of healed, and then I would re-injure it again. And I'd be like, God damn motherfucking shit!
Right. Yeah.
So now I don't play.
Right.
I can't even take stevia because if that is so concentrated that when that stuff hits my kidneys, I die.
Mm.
So not literally, but what I'm trying to tell
What you mean? Yeah.
with you, and all that talking I did, I'll go over time to compensate the time of talking. But what I want to tell you is that you can heal all these things, but you have to do it 100%. You can't mess around.
Right. Right.
Like, I've been to the jungles of Cambodia, strict keto, period, done. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When I went to Iceland not that long ago, wherever I go when I'm not in my own kitchen, and like I said, it's the kidney and the stomach and the keto. It's 3 things I have to be careful for when I travel.
Right.
And I've done it, and I'm proud of myself. So if you're ready now, you cannot, I don't care if you've gone away for a couple weeks. I don't care how much stress you have in your life.
Right.
To this.
Right.
If you stick to it, even if you didn't keto adapt, most of your symptoms would go away.
Right.
So if you keto adapt, can you imagine?
I know. Gotta do what I gotta do. I know, yeah.
So let's continue redesigning. That's the reason why these things are going to bed. I am writing a book right now. I'm like, shut your laptop, get away from the computer, and get your ass to bed, because I would always fall asleep later. And now I'm like, in bed by 9:30, that's it, done.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care if the book's not due on time. I don't care. My sleep will not get compromised.
Right.
So magnesium, you're going to start to like try to relax, be mindful of your breathing, because when we're doing stuff, we don't breathe very much. We take tiny little breaths through our nose. You're not getting enough oxygen in. So you just got to get some air in. Also, the blue blockers is not a bad idea, or even being in a room with a dimmer light.
Okay.
Now, I think you should switch to like podcast or an audiobook at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes before bed. Because if you are listening to something under low light, you will get tired in time. It might take 14 days, but 14 days of that discipline, you would be shocked. You'd be like, dang, I'm actually getting sleepy. This is good. The people who last that long, like they do it 4 days, they're like, oh, I can't stand this. I'm like, I'm just awake. But after 14 days of this discipline, it'll start helping.
Okay.
All right. So chamomile tea will also help relax your nervous system. You're going to get up and you're going to eat. You are no longer going to wait an hour and a half to eat. But we're going to get you up earlier. So at least 7 days, we got to tortuously get your ass up to bed, even if you don't sleep. Because let's wait. Let's taper off the melatonin. Oh, no, you're off. Fuck. Okay, sorry. Swearing. Okay, you're off. We're going to have to try this now then. So you're going to get up 6:30, not 7, no matter what. 6 to 6:30. You're going to try your hardest to get to I don't want you to just lie in bed. If you are tossing and turning in bed, get out of bed. Sit in the chair or stand up under low light and listen to a book, because you get bored and your brain will get tired. Do not lie in bed, because the subconscious mind is its own mind. If you're lying, the brain's like, oh, I'm supposed to be awake when I'm lying. So if you're awake, sit up like this, and you will start to get tired. Your hormones will reset. All right, you get up, you're going to eat. Now, you've been eating, what have you been eating again, keto-wise, for breakfast?
For breakfast, it's like eggs and bacon and sauteed greens, or I'll have some like cooked chicken breasts and
Okay. We're doing thighs. We're not doing breasts right now. We need more animal fat. So thighs, legs, wings, salmon, beef. if I know you could have a sensitivity to it, we'll just have to see. Dark 80-20 ground turkey. There is 80-20. Also, what else? Pork, bacon, eggs. Yeah. So pork belly is really good. Fatty meats. Yeah.
No, I have a question. I saw on another thing, and so I'm a little confused. Like, so it said for breakfast, you just need to focus on your proteins and fats and not have any carbs for breakfast.
No, I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Who else were you been listening to? Because
I don't know. I find all kinds of crap. I know.
don't listen to, I hate to sound this frigging braggadocious and so arrogant, but none of them know what the fuck they're talking about.
Okay, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
They don't work with people who've got, like you, thyroid. You know, you're having stuff in your stool. Like, this is not a joke, people. We have to mind everything you do in a day, to down to the way you sit, stand, walk, breathe, think, and eat matters.
Right.
So we're going to get up. The reason why I want you to eat to break the fast is to calm your adrenal glands down. When you don't eat something and you're getting up and you're dropping off your son, the brain's like, I'm starving. There's no food. We already fasted. Now we're fasting again. Fasting again, like not eating right away, even though you're just waiting an hour and a half. Fasting, when you're doing stuff, tells the brain that you're starving and it wants to slow down the metabolism.
Okay.
So eating actually helps spike the metabolism. Get your cortisol in the right order. Cortisol must be very high in the morning, not any other part of the day. So you could have something small. You could have one egg and one piece of bacon and a little bit of greens just to get you going.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's not a lot of food to digest. You can pre-make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I try and do.
Yeah, eat it, plop it, boom. Good to go. Then you can drop off your son. And I want you to come back and either have like a fat snack or like a second half of a breakfast. So a fat snack could be like 2 heaping tablespoons of a fatty meat. Sometimes I like ground beef or ground turkey because it's easier to digest because it's already grounded down.
Okay.
With like a fatty tea, which would have, in that breakfast, I want you to have at least 2 tablespoons of butter. Or no, lard, my bad, lard. And you can add a tablespoon of, like, if you had fried eggs or something like that, you could have like 2 tablespoons of lard.
Okay.
Something like that.
And then when I get back, like, or for snack,
you could have like 2 heaping tablespoons of an animal fat and a fatty tea with some coconut oil and maybe avocado oil because it's tasteless.
Okay.
And maybe a bite of lard. Also, you could do macadamia nuts if you have no problem with mac nuts. They tend to have less mycotoxins, which means mold on them, and very low in phytic acid. You don't have to soak them like other nuts with the plant anti-nutrients. No more almond butter. Later down the line, you could do coconut butter down the line, or you could do macadamia nut butter. Okay. But right now, let's make it clean. Okay. I want you to work out. The days that you don't go to the gym, I want you to do something from home. 12 minutes.
Okay.
That's it.
Do I need to be waiting so long after like I have like a good solid breakfast before exercising?
Well, if you have breakfast in the morning and you go to drop off your son and then you come back and you get a small snack, you could be eating in 5 minutes because your stomach's not going to be full.
Okay.
2 tablespoons of fatty meat is nothing.
Right.
And some sips of fat, no, it's nothing.
Okay.
And I want you to do 12 minutes of a full body. So we're not trying to lift heavy. We're not trying to be intense. We're not even trying to get your heart rate up. We're going to do like, if I show you real quick, just easy lightweight, like shoulder press or bicep curl or lateral raises, or you could do tricep. Like if this were weight, it'd be like tricep kickbacks, right. Tricep or overhead tricep extensions. You could do standing wall push-ups, like 4 sets of 5 repetitions, which is quite easy. And this is to bring blood. We're not trying to build muscle right now. It's just to bring blood to the muscle cell, because with that will come a lot of oxygen and nutrients. That's what we're trying to do.
Get moving.
Get moving. Now you can still walk, which is great, but 12 minutes is ain't nothing. Set the timer on. You're like, I'm gonna do a little bit of exercise. You could do small little chair squats. Like sometimes I'll have people put a big pillow on a chair. So your butt just barely touches the pillow and you come up.
Right,
And then down, and then up. And you could do like 4 sets of 10. Good, done, boom. Okay, lunch. At 5'4", you're 5'4", your meat doesn't need to go beyond 3 ounces cooked. So that's about 3, let me switch this to me, here we go. So that's about 3 fingers worth of cooked meat, or 2, which is 2 or 2.5, measured cooked, 2.5 ounces. We don't need a lot of protein because we're gonna raise the fats. So let's get some lard. There's a website called fatworks.com. And they sell all types of animal fat. Now you can also get duck fat or goose fat. You may not respond to that. So you could have duck fat and let's say lard as your animal fats that you can stick on food after the cooking process, or in teas, or like you could do like a bone brothy thing. Be careful with bone broth because there's a protein in it called glutamate. So some people react to it or not. So you just got to eat the broth, drink the broth, and see if you get any of those symptoms, like red, itchy, bloated in the stomach, because it could be the glutamate. And that's when your gut heals, the walls heal, your body can tolerate these amino acids or plant chemicals and stuff like that. Now the nightshades, like the tomatoes, obviously you're not going to eat.
Yeah, I cut all that out already.
Yeah, it's all done. Let's see. So lunch is going to be like 2 to 3 ounces of cooked meat, fatty meats preferred, and continue to rotate. Rotation is like, I'm going to have 2 meats a day for 4 days. And now the next 4 days, I'm going to have another 2. And then you go back to this, like that's how the rotation works. And then now glutamine is really good for the gut. Now you can get it in supplementation form, and you just sprinkle it on your food. It's tasteless. And I don't want you to put it in a tea because it'll spike your blood sugar. Glutamine is good to help for leaky gut.
Okay.
It's a protein, and a type of protein. And then for your main meals, you can do 2 to 3 tables of an animal fat, or you could do like 2 tables solid of an animal fat put on top of your food, and like another tablespoon of coconut oil, something like that.
Okay.
At least 30 tablespoons of fat. And I don't really count the cooking process because it gets burned off and oxidized. It's what you have to add in afterwards.
Okay. Okay.
Now, between lunch, which should be between like 12 and 1:30 max, that should be lunch times. Between lunch and dinner, I want you to have a little 2 tablespoons of fat. Like sometimes I have people make little turkey meatballs or beef meatballs, and they can just plop 2 in their mouth and drink a little bit of fat to stabilize. It's only to stabilize that crazy blood sugar you got right now. Okay. And that's it. We're not eating to feed you. We're only getting the fat, and because fatty proteins help stabilize blood sugar. And this is full keto, so I'm not adding any carbs. So stabilize blood sugar, and then you'll have dinner by 6, and dinner is the same macros as lunch. 2 to 3 ounces of cooked meat. You can do a cup of vegetables, or you could do green beans if you want to go up to 2 cups if you don't want to have cruciferous, or saute, like you said. Now, if you get a pressure cooker, you can have all the cruciferous, you can have spinach. It'll break down the anti-nutrients, and people do really well on a pressure cooker, and it cooks things a lot faster.
Right. Okay,
cool. You also do that with your meats. Will take away the bacteria, and that also kind of keeps the gut wall weird, is the bacteria on meat that grow over time, because we're not eating fresh slaughtered meat anymore, so there's a bunch of bacteria on it.
Right.
So you eat your dinner by 6, and then you're going to eat one more time before bed, and you're going to have like a fatty tea. You could do the calm inside the chamomile, and you're going to have a little bit of that ground turkey, because turkey has tryptophan in it. It will relax you, with like 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And so that's when you're going to have a plant fat, not an animal fat. And that's going to be what your daily routine looks like for now.
Okay.
So do you have any questions before we go?
Not necessarily. Okay, hold on.
I would test your blood sugar, continue it like once a week, test all day long, just to see if it's continuing to spike throughout the day. Like these little tests of adding like little fatty meat with some fat in between meals, like, will that, you know, cutting down your protein so you don't eat too much, will that, and upping your fat, so you're having at least 200 grams of fat per day, and getting rid of almond butter and cheese and dairy and all, like, all, well, you're not doing that anyway. But will we see a stabilization of your blood sugar if you had lard in, for example, or duck fat? Some people react off of duck fat. We got to see if the eggs are creating an issue, because eggs, cinnamon, lemon, spinach, kale, fish, leftover meats, these are all high histamine foods. Avocado, but not olives. Not everybody is the same.
Right.
Some people are fine with eggs. Some people are not. Some people are fine with this and not. So sometimes you want to isolate a food. Like, I'm going to have 3 eggs for lunch. That's it. And I'm going to test my blood sugar. And if it spikes real high, you might go, Or then you might have like 2 ounces of pork belly and like pastured pork belly. And you go, I'm going to test my blood sugar 2 hours after. And if it doesn't spike, then you know that you have sensitivity to eggs, because one makes you spike and one doesn't.
Interesting. I'll do that.
Yeah, you just have to isolate foods. Like, you could do, like, I'm going to do spinach, because spinach is high in potassium. It's really good. But do you react off it? Well, let's eat a bowl of spinach and let's see what happens. Cooked.
Okay.
Cooked.
Yes.
That's a test.
All right. One question I have, I'm just trying to understand better the the timing of exercise versus eating and the pre and post workout. So, like, say if I can't exercise after I eat breakfast, I have to wait till like lunchtime. Do I need to eat something before I go exercise, or I eat after?
As long as you have a mid-morning snack.
Okay.
Then if you're having, like, I'm going to go to the gym around 12, and I'm going to have my lunch after that. As long as you have a mid-morning snack or something small, you're fine.
Okay.
And whatever you train, don't do cardio. You can do a 5-minute warm-up. And ramp down your workouts to real light. So don't have your trainer, if you have a trainer, do a bunch of legs. Don't do that, because that's going to spike your blood pressure and it's going to make your blood sugar spike.
Okay.
You can also test your blood sugar sometimes post-workout by about 20 to 30 minutes. And if it's high, you know that the type of workout that you're doing is spiking your blood sugar.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Other thing. Oh, talking about the leaky gut. Someone introduced me to a gelatin. It's like there's a beef gelatin or like beef collagens.
Yeah.
Is that okay to add to like the fat? If I make a fatty tea, would that help?
Make sure it's grass-fed. Don't have it to a tea, because that's pure protein added to food.
Okay. So add it. Okay. Is coconut milk okay?
Not right now.
Okay.
There's a lot of carbs in that coconut milk. You gotta like really make sure you get all the water out, because that's where all the sugar's at. You want the cream, right? But we don't know. If you've got leaky gut, are you sensitive to coconut? Like, the coconut meat? We don't know. So right now is a no. We want to try to keep your blood sugar under 100 all the time. We want your blood sugar under 95 all the time. And so when you clean out everything and you make, you really do this disciplined job, then we start adding back things in, you'll know, oh, I react off of coconut milk, or no, I'm fine. And then you can add it in totally. Okay. And no green tea, because there's caffeine, no caffeine.
Right, the caffeine, yeah. I think that's all the questions I had. You answered most everything. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then I just, 5 minutes before we got on, I saw on your website you have the meal plans. So I'll probably get one of those,
I mean, you could buy one, but I mean, it's got instructions. It's more organized, but I mean, you spoke to me now. We pretty much have it, because what's on the meal plan is not going to be what I just told you to do right now is for you. It's not going to be on the meal plan. I'm not going to have you eating little bites of protein in between, because I don't know whose blood sugar is really, really high.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm honest with people. I'm not like, yeah, go buy a meal plan. I'll make more money. No, it's like, you don't need to.
Okay.
Your blood sugar should be between 69 and 80 milligrams per deciliter. And this is being recorded, so I'm going to say it real quick, fast. And your ketones need to be between a 1.8 to a 3.0. But really, if your blood sugar is 85, you and I would be jumping on the ceiling. So I'll be happy with that.
Right. Yeah.
If your blood sugar gets under 90, your ketones are going to spike. We want to eat as much animal fat as possible, because you notice your ketones will improve with more animal fat.
Okay.
got to find one that doesn't make your body become inflamed, because any type of inflammation that your body doesn't like is going to spike your blood sugar. That includes foods, toxins, stress, poor sleep. All these things block your keto adaptation. Breathing the wrong way, sitting the wrong way, you know, like pain, like if you have back pain and you don't try to stretch that muscle, that's inflammatory and that'll spike your blood sugar. It's like stuff we don't think about. Chewing slow, like some people are like chew their foods too fast, and eating too late at night, even though I don't like for people to eat a couple bites of turkey, but it will help, unfortunately, prevent hypoglycemia in the middle of the night, and it'll get you into deeper sleep, but then your body's got to just digest a little bit more. So it's like you got to choose the lesser of the two evils.
Right.
And, otherwise, I would journal. I would write down how your body responds to food. Sometimes tracking your symptoms is better than the glucometer, because like you're like, damn, I ate this and now I'm really tired. Ooh, I never thought that this made me tired. Do you know what I mean? So if you just kind of write little notes to yourself after you eat something for the first couple of weeks, then after a while you're gonna be like, yep, my blood sugar spikes and I feel tired. It must be this food.
Okay. Sounds good. I will do that. I'll start journaling.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
All
you.
right, Tabitha, I will send this. Give me a few minutes to send this broadcast to you.
Okay.
And because I'm going to record it and send you the link. I am recording it. I'm going to stop recording now and send you the link.
Okay.
And if you ever want to come to me in the future, we'll have more to go by. We'll see if your blood sugar dropped. You're going to be more conscious of rotating foods, pay more attention to high histamine foods. You're going to track your blood sugar in the new, like we're trying to eat every couple of hours. Now, eating every couple of hours is hard in the digestive system. But that's why I'm like, between breakfast and lunch and dinner and at night, you only have a little bit.
Right.
To not overwhelm the stomach. Right? Because the body wants to digest fully, be empty, and then eat again. And sometimes it takes about 3 or 4 hours for your body to be empty. And then we're going to eat something again, but we want it to be small. And eating something with a damaged metabolism will help stabilize your blood sugar. Okay. So, like I said, we have to pick the lesser of the two evils. But if you journal things, or if you're like, I'm going to test if I'm allergic to eggs or sensitive, I'm going to eat a bunch of eggs, and then I'm going to test my blood sugar, and then I'm going to track how I feel. Then by the time, if you come back to me, we'll have a lot more on how to strategize for another time. And then you record it unless you wanted to.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that's my goal, is to kind of dial stuff in and figure things out and do this the right way.
Yes. Yeah, cool. So if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to stop the broadcast because I tend to go overtime.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.